morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are back and better than ever. And today we are going to talk about the axis of symmetry and vertex of a parabola. So, how did this pop up? We are, talking about axis of symmetry and vertex of a parabola. So the graph of any quadratic function is a parabola. It has an axis of symmetry. It has a turning point or the vertex. And we talked about this before, but it's worth reiterating. If the graph has two x-intercepts, then the axis of symmetry must be midway between them. That is awesome. Okay, it's very powerful. So the equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Now you have to understand, this is an equation. It's an equation of a line. So if I have a parabola like this, and let's just say this is at, I don't know, 2, negative 2, the axis of symmetry splits it down the middle. We've talked about this, right? And the equation for the axis of symmetry would be x is equal to 2. X equals 2 because it goes right through x equals 2 there. And that would be equivalent, I don't have the equation for this, but that'd be equivalent to x equals negative b over 2a. And a nice little proof is here for you to look through. You should pause and look through it. And so let's find the equation of the axis of symmetry of y equals 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Well, that's going to be x equals negative b, so that's negative 3 over 2a, 2 times 2. So that's going to be equal to negative 3/4. And guess what? That is the x-coordinate of the vertex. Let's just take a quick look at this. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Let me get rid of that one. That's from a previous video. Let's make sure I had that. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Boom, chugga, lugga, lugga. And so there you go. Let's get the vertex of that. We had said the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3/4. That looks about right. We can verify that by analyzing the graph, finding the minimum, because that's going to be the vertex, and the x-coordinate is going to be negative 3/4. And that's exactly where the axis of symmetry is going to go through. Okay, so the turning point of the vertex, we've seen that. That's going to be the maximum value if the parabola is opening downward, and it's going to be the minimum value if the parabola is opening upward. If a is less than 0, it opens downward. If a is greater than 0, it opens upward. Okay, so we can, because of that, we find, or let me rephrase that. The axis of symmetry is like the mirror, that was a horrible one, the mirror of the parabola, and it gives the x-coordinate of the vertex. And if we know the x-coordinate and we know the equation of the parabola, we can get the y-coordinate. So determine the coordinates of the vertex. This guy is going to be opening upwards. The equation is x equals negative b over 2a, so negative 8 over 2 times 2. So that's negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. So my vertex has coordinates negative 2 something. Well, it's just going to be, I know the x-coordinate, I can get the corresponding y-coordinate. So 2 times negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 plus 3. So that would be 2 times 4 minus 16 plus 3. So that's 8 minus 16 is negative 8, plus 3 is negative 5. So the coordinates of the vertex would be negative 2, negative 5. And let's just graph that so we can convince ourselves. 2x squared plus 8x plus 3. Here we go. 2x squared plus 8x. So plus 8x plus 3. And I think the minimum will stay. Oh no, it doesn't. I wonder why it stayed there. Let's get rid of that and find the minimum. Menu, analyze graph, find the minimum, boom, boom, and there it is, -2, -5, just like we said. Okay, onward we go. Let's find its axes, intercepts. We're going to graph it now. So the y-intercept clearly is going to be 3. The x-intercepts, we're going to set it equal to 0. 0 equals -x squared plus 2x plus 3. Multiply everything by -1. 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. I don't know why I always do that. 0 equals x minus 3 times x plus 1. So my x-intercepts are 3 and -1. So let's get all those in. 1, 2, 3 is the y-intercept. We have 1, 2, 3, and -1. And we know this parabola is opening downwards. The axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative b over 2a, 2 times -1. So the axis of symmetry, we have a -2 over a -2, which is a positive 1. Let me go ahead and draw that in there, the axis of symmetry. I'm not going to put arrows on it. Let's just do it like this, and I got my dashes. So it's x equals, why do I have -1 down there? I don't know how that got there. That should be positive 1. No. So positive 1. Okay, so back to here. And so it's going to be this guy. This is going to be my axis of symmetry, the pink. I did that pretty well. And what else? Coordinates of the vertex. Well, the vertex has x coordinate of this 1, the same value as the axis of symmetry. So that would be -1 plus 2 plus 3. So that's going to be 4. So the vertex is at 1, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have plenty to graph this now. And it's going to look like that. The other thing we could have done is once we found the x-intercepts, we know the axis of symmetry is halfway between, so we didn't even have to do -b over 2a. All right, easy peasy. Let's sketch the parabola using axes intercepts. So I know my x-intercepts. Let's go those out of the way. X-intercepts, right, are going to be 2 and -4. So 2 and -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. So all right, I'm going to go ahead and put in my axis of symmetry right here. That just might help me out because I know it's halfway between the x-intercepts. And now all I need is my y-intercept. And that's going to be, let's see, 2. When x is 0, we have -2. 2 times -2 times 4, so that's going to be equal to -16. So on the y-axis, I'm going to have everything worth 2. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I'm going to have this be -10. So 12, 14, 16. So there's my y-intercept. We know this opens upwards, and my parabola, or my my parabola is going to have its vertex on it. So I know the equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals -1. So that means my vertex is at -1, and I just replace it here. So that's 2 times -1 minus 2 is -3, and -1 plus 4 is 3. So that's going to be -6 times 3 is -18. So -1, -18, which is right here. So I have plenty to make a nice sketch there. Ah! Oh, that's awful. My hand's in an awkward position. But it's going to look something like that. Okay, last one. Sketch the parabola which has x-intercepts -2 and 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. And before I do anything else, let's find the axis of symmetry. That's going to be halfway between, which is right here, 4 units, right? So it's right here is my axis of symmetry. And I know right away that the equation is x equals 2. So my vertex is at 2 something. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. Y-intercept is 2. So let's see. 1, 2, right? So you know that this parabola has to open downwards because there's no way with those points I can draw a shape like that. It's going to have to look something like this. And just, we're not going to know the exact vertex, but we can get a pretty good idea. So it could look something like that. All right. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. And with that, let's go back. Ooh, I got the wrong thing. We are going to say that we are out of here.